Let's go back, way back. Imagine the wealthiest, most dazzling city in the ancient world, a place just dripping with gold. We're talking about ancient Babylon. But the financial secrets we're about to dig up from George S. Clason's classic, The Richest Man in Babylon, are, believe it or not, just as powerful today. So let's dive into the simple story that holds all the keys. So welcome to Babylon. Picture this. On one side of the street, you've got these incredible, glittering palaces. On the other, crushing poverty. There's gold everywhere, but for most people, it might as well be on the moon. And that's the central puzzle of this whole story. In a city overflowing with wealth, how is it that so many people have nothing? To get to the bottom of this, we meet a guy named Dabasir. Now, Dabasir is not lazy. In fact, he's the best chariot builder in town. He works his tail off, sunrise to sunset, pouring his heart into his craft. And what does he get for all that hard work and skill? An empty coin purse. Absolutely nothing to show for it. Sound familiar? You can just feel the frustration, right? He's sitting there, totally defeated, venting to his best friend, Kobe. They've done everything they were told to do in life. Learn a trade, work hard. And for what? They're just treading water. And they start to have this big realization. Maybe, just maybe, hard work isn't the whole story. And this is the light bulb moment. Kobe points out something so simple, it's brilliant. They've spent their whole lives learning how to build things, but they've never spent a single day learning how to build wealth. It's a totally different skill set. So they make a pact. No more just working and hoping. They're going to get answers. And who do you ask? Well, you go straight to the top, to Arkad, the richest man in Babylon. So who is this Arkad guy? You're probably thinking he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, right? Or maybe he just got lucky. Well, the truth is, his journey started at the very bottom, with a single, life-changing bargain. See, long before he was Arkad the Rich, he was just Arkad, the scribe, hunched over clay tablets day in and day out, earning just enough to get by. Just like Dabasir, he was working his fingers to the bone, and his money was gone as fast as it came in. But that constant feeling of being broke lit a fire in him to find a better way. His big break came from a wealthy moneylender named Algamish, who needed a huge job done by morning. Now, Arkad saw his chance, but he didn't ask for more money. Instead, he made a crazy offer. He said, "I'll work all night, I'll carve until my hands bleed, if you teach me how to become rich." He traded his labor not for money, but for wisdom. So Arkad does it. He works all through the night, totally exhausted. At sunrise, the job is done. Algamish, keeping his promise, leans in and tells him the secret. And honestly, imagine hearing that. Arkad must have thought, wait, that's it? That's the big secret? A part of what I earn is mine to keep? That one simple sentence is the foundation for everything, paying yourself first. But here's the thing Arkad was about to learn the hard way. Knowing the rule is one thing. Actually living it? Well, that's a whole other story, and it's full of some painful lessons. I mean, think about it. You pay the person who sells you food, you pay your landlord, you pay the sandal maker, you pay everybody else first. When do you get around to paying yourself? Algamish's point is that the money you earn isn't truly yours until you make a choice to keep some of it. Setting aside at least 1/10 before you pay anyone else is how you start building a treasure that actually belongs to you. So, Arkad gets to work. For an entire year, he religiously saves 1/10 of every single coin he makes. He's so proud watching his little pile of savings grow. Then, what feels like a golden opportunity drops into his lap. A brickmaker named Asmor is going on a long journey and offers to buy rare Phoenician jewels for Arkad, promising they can sell them for a huge profit. It seemed like a sure thing. Poof. Just like that, it was all gone. A year's worth of careful savings vanished. The rare jewels turned out to be nothing but cheap, worthless bits of glass. Arkad had followed the first rule perfectly, but he just slammed headfirst into the second, much harder lesson. Saving money is just step one. You gotta know how to protect it. When Algamish heard the story, he didn't even get mad. He just looked at Arkad and asked a question that cut right to the bone. Why would you trust a brickmaker's opinion on jewels? The lesson was brutal but clear. When it comes to your money, only take advice from people who are experts in that specific thing. Otherwise, you're just paying for their bad ideas. Arkad was right back at square one. He could have just given up, right? But he didn't. He started saving his 10th all over again.
Only this time, he was wiser. He knew how to save, and he knew how to protect his savings. Now he was ready for the third and most powerful lesson of all, how to make his gold work for him.
This time around, Arkad is a lot smarter. He takes his savings and loans them to Agur, a shield maker, an expert at making shields, who needs the capital to buy bronze. Agur agrees to pay Arkad rent for using his money. For the very first time, Arkad's money is making more money all by itself. He's earning interest. But he makes another mistake, a much sneakier one. He's so excited about this new income that he spends it all. He buys nicer clothes, he has lavish feasts. It's a trap a lot of us fall into. When Algamish found out, he just laughed and asked another one of his killer questions. You eat the children of your savings. How then can you expect them to work for you? And this is where we get the best metaphor in the whole book. Algamish explains that every coin you save is a golden slave. It works for you. The interest it earns, those are its children. And if you put those children to work, they'll have children of their own. It's only when you have a whole army of these golden slaves and their children and their grandchildren all working for you that you can truly build a fortune. Just how powerful is this army of gold? Well, the book gives this amazing example. A farmer gives his son just 10 pieces of silver. He doesn't add anything else to it, ever. But by loaning it out and letting the interest compound, by the time his son is 50 years old, that tiny investment has grown to 167 pieces of silver. It multiplied itself almost 17 times over. That's the magic of putting the children and grandchildren to work. So let's just recap what he learned the hard way, through trial and error. First, live on less than you earn so you can build your treasure. That's rule number 1. Second, protect that treasure by getting advice only from people who know what they're doing. And third, make that treasure grow by putting it and its earnings to work. It's a simple 3-step process, but it changes everything. Once Arkad really, truly got these 3 lessons deep in his bones, his entire life changed. He hadn't found some magic trick. He had simply mastered a few timeless, unshakable laws of money. See, Arkad proved he could do more than just earn. He proved he could keep his money, and even more importantly, that he could grow it wisely. He had demonstrated real competence. So when Algamish got old and needed someone to manage his estate, he didn't just give Arkad a pat on the back. He made him a full partner. The poor scribe's journey was finally complete. So after all of that, all the mistakes, all the lessons, all the hard work, what's the one simple idea that kicked this whole thing off? What's the bedrock that all the other rules are built on? It all comes back to this one sentence. This is the big one. It sounds almost laughably simple, doesn't it? But this single decision, the decision that you have the first right to the money you earn, is the seed from which all wealth grows. In the end, it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you decide is yours to keep.